Right. All right. Good afternoon, beautiful people. This is episode 39 of the Day and Night podcast. So today we have a good topic for you guys, and hopefully everyone enjoys it. Kind of goes in line with what we talked about 2 weeks ago. And yeah, if you're out there, chime in, leave your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. And as always, like, subscribe, comment, and my favorite saying, your thoughts becomes your belief, and your belief becomes your reality. All right, Mark, what you got for us?
Just same old, same thing like you always say. I got my saying, STS. Stay focused, guys. Trust your process. And most of all, stay consistent. Whatever it is you trying to do in life, you want to reach that ultimate accomplishment, you guys do the STS. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, like, subscribe, comment, interact with us, give us your feedback, and just let us know how y'all feel about these podcasts we've been doing. So I'm really curious and interested in getting feedback on that. So on that note, I'm ready. I'm new to this, so I'm gonna let Matt take the lead on this one, but I will definitely give my best of opinions of what I feel about this. So let's get it, baby.
All right. So, as I said, today's topic is manifestation, however you may deem it, but that's what the topic is, manifestation. All right, so as usual, I always want to bring context to what it is that we're talking about. So I have several definitions of what manifestation is. So this comes from Webster, it comes from Google. So it's different aspects or definitions of what manifestation is. There's a spiritual definition and just a general sense of what manifestation is. All right, so the first one is manifest, easily understood or recognized by the mind, readily perceived by the senses, and especially by the sense of sight. Okay, so that's one definition. Another one is manifestation, an event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea, a symptom or sign of alignment, and the action or fact of showing an abstract idea. Okay, so another definition, manifestation is the act or process or instance of manifesting. Okay, some people believe it's an occult phenomenon. So also another definition is the public demonstration of power and purpose. So the actual biblical definition of manifestation is the Bible defines it as making something evident or apparent. Okay, and the last one I have, manifestation is a public display of emotion or feelings or something theoretical made real. Manifestation or origins are in religion and spirituality, and then more so the metaphysics side of it, or quantum physics of manifestation, is what I'm more so I believe manifestation is generally means using your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to bring something to reality or to a physical reality. And psychology breaks it down as prayer, meditation, visualization, speaking your intentions out loud. And yeah, so that's basically what the psychology definition of manifestation is. So I think this topic would be a good one to talk about, just for the reason of, like I said before, it seemed like it's a popular thing now for people to talk about. I know before I used to always hear people say, I pray things into existence, or I speak it into existence. And now more so, manifestation is what is the most popular thing to say. So for me, I know that it's real. I believe manifestation is something, like most things, is relative. Some scientists have issues with the word manifestation because they feel as though it don't have an objective side of the, what manifestation is. Like, people speak of it, but based off of who the individual is and what it is that they receive, it can be objective to that person because they say that they received it, but there's nowhere in science that can prove that manifestation is real. Right. So it's more so just what the person believes. And for me, manifestation really is based off of the belief of the person. So if you're saying, well, I'm going to manifest a brand new car, the general sense is, okay, yeah, you can manifest it if you're working and you get paid a good amount of money and you're pretty responsible with your bills and you're saving money, you're investing money, then yeah, you can get a brand new car. So how is that truly manifesting something if you have the capabilities of attaining it? So I think for somebody, I'm going to use athletes, entertainers, and celebrities and so forth. Now, people that have money and have access to money, for me, I don't really listen to them when they say they manifest certain things, only for the simple fact that their money and stuff comes easy for them. Like, if they're playing sports and you sign a guaranteed contract, you're guaranteed that you're going to get a certain amount of money. So you can get that house that you want. You can get that car that you want. So how are they truly manifesting a physical, sense of something? So for them, I would think it would be more so like, I want to manifest to have a better season. That I could see it would be more attainable versus a physical or material thing.
Right.
So that's what I believe manifestation is truly believing in something. And there's steps that goes with that. And that's not prayer, but meditation, being in the right environment, being around the right people, consuming the right food. So there's a lot of stuff that goes with manifestation, opposed to just saying, well, I'm just going to manifest a brand new car. And I think that kind of throws people off because, like I said, if you're working and you're getting paid a good amount of money, then how can you really say that that person manifested that? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to leave it there for right now, and let you talk about how you see what manifestation is or what you believe manifestation is.
Well, for one, like I was saying earlier on the intro, be honest, I'm just now really putting myself out there to say I'm going that journey of believing in manifestation. I still have my doubts, so I ain't gonna sit there and say I'm in 100. So I'm gonna say that I'm in the beginning, so I'm still learning it. But I believe, from what I've been hearing from you, my special friend, and also I've been paying more attention to a lot of those Instagram posts that got the spiritual, person is putting out there about manifestation. And then also, I ain't saying her name because I'm keep that disclosed, but she brought me on to, it's called The Secret. Now, I don't know if you've seen that, but that was a powerful documentary, I guess you would call it, where you have to look at it more than one time. And she told me that, and I was like, yeah, I don't think you got to look at it more than once. Because when you watch it, it's literally going to be like, this ain't real. This is some BS. They just putting that on there. Because the stuff they put on there is basically like you just said, Matt, about manifesting things that you really want. And it's actually receiving it. But they put it out a little bit more about the universe gives it back. Whatever you speak into existence, you will receive it. But you got to believe it, as you said. So I'm kind of echoing what you just said about believing in what you want and knowing you deserve it and knowing that it'll come. Now, this is my thing. And you said it too. You took the words out of my mouth. The problem I had with it is that everybody, like you said, is riding this wave, is what I call it, where I manifest. I had this guy. I ain't lying. It's just funny. And I think he was just saying it because it's cool to say. He said, man, I just manifest myself overtime or something. He was just being stupid. But it's just the fact that people are using it for everything. Oh, I manifested this car, not car, but these extra hours. Or somebody said, I'm going to manifest this guy to get fired. I'm just like, come on, like you can't use that for everything. And use that manifestation as the reason why you got what you wanted. So I think some people are taking it and running with it, and they're not really
Right.
understanding what it's about. They just
Mhm.
using it because, like you said, it's so popular right now. Some people riding it as a fad instead of really educating themselves and understanding what is manifestation. So the other thing I was going to say is going to be a comment and a question to you, Matt, is this is my only belief from what I was told from, other people that's in it is when you manifest it, it has to be, once you say it, like you said, you got to believe it, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight. You may manifest it, maybe a year later before you actually get whatever it is you're trying to accomplish or want. So that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of comment on that and also asking you that question is, do you feel that's somewhat true or do you feel like it's not a time frame on it? Like if I'm saying, for instance, I want to have my studio for my personal training. If I want to manifest that, it's not like it's going to happen in 2 weeks. It could be next year. Now, I'll put a date on it and say by this time next year, I'm going to have my studio. To me, that would be more manifesting it because you have a time frame, but you know that you keep speaking in existence, and every time you say it, wake up in the morning, and the words of affirmation, I'm going to have my gym next
Right.
year, and just keep putting little tidbits out there. Just remind yourself and keep telling yourself and keep yourself focused. Like I always say, STS. So that kind of falls in line with that manifestations. You staying focused on what you want, trusting that it's going to come to you, and be consistent on your path to get there. So that's why I feel kind of what manifestation is something that's going to be given to you or you receive it, but I don't think it's going to be tomorrow or the next day. Like I said, like guy at work talking about, oh, I manifested this overtime or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's why I was
Yeah.
like, who's to say that it's going to happen right away or a year or a month? Is it even a time frame for that? You know what I mean? Does
All
that
right.
make sense with
Yeah.
that question?
No, that makes
You looking
perfect
at me
sense.
all funny, huh?
No, that makes perfect sense. So we about to dig in the weeds. We about to dig in the weeds.
Well, let's
Now,
dig. Come
this
on.
is where it gets, huh?
I said, let's dig. Come on.
All right. Now, this is where it gets tricky because the law of attraction is kind of different from manifestation because the
Okay.
law of attraction is more so attracting not what you are, but attracting based off of vibration and frequency.
Right.
So manifestation is kind of the same thing, but manifestation is more so who you are and who you believe you are. Like the I am. So I'm going to use me for an example. This was a couple of years ago when I was still in Virginia, and I was deeply into my words of affirmation. I was, manifesting and doing, like I said, my meditation. So I used to meditate in the bathtub. So when I would meditate, I would always say my affirmation for money. Money flows to me effortlessly from numerous resources on a continuous basis. So I would literally say that as I'm meditating. I would say it like if I'm driving to work. I would say it throughout the day. And I remember Mom called one time. She said, "Hey, Matt, you got a check here." I said, "How do you know it's a check?" She said, "I don't know. It just looked like a check." So when I got there, it was a check for, I think it was $1,500 or something like that. Now, mind you, it said it was a student loan repayment that they said I overpaid and it was paying me back. Now, mind you, the student loan I had was way back when I was in San Antonio, which was done with years ago. So the point I'm trying to get to is I manifested that money, but it wasn't that amount. I was just manifesting money.
Right.
Now, what you're talking about, which is good because you're supposed to be specific when you do manifestation. So like you're saying, you want to manifest your studio from a year from now. As long as you maintain that and truly believe it, you're definitely going to get it because you were specific about it. You put a date on it, but then you have to go even deeper and go with as far as the location,
Right.
what it looks like, what the inside going to look like. And as long as you do that and do visualization and stuff like that, it's definitely going to happen. Now, this is the flip side to it. Before I got my Jag, I manifested it. And when I say that, my manifestation, what I do is, like I said, I meditate and I visualize too. So I visualize myself driving to work in the Jag, getting out, going to work, going in the studio. This is before I had my own practice. And then once I got the practice, then I envisioned myself again, driving to work, chilling in the car, washing it and stuff like that. And then within a year later, I got it because I didn't do the specifics. That's the one thing I don't do that I need to start doing is being more specific about it. I'm just like in a general sense when I do my manifestation. So as far as with the law of attraction, I think some people confuse the two. Now, this is again where it gets a little bit more technical. Now, the key with the laws of vibration, not laws of vibration, the law of attraction and a manifestation, they kind of both still based off of frequency and vibration, but law of attraction is more focused on the vibration and frequency more so than the manifestation as far as who you are and who you believe you are. Right. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know if that answered your question or not, or.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it put it in a gist, like in a nutshell, basically. So yeah, you answered that. Because like I was saying, I'm still new to focusing on that and believing in that. And again, I know I said that earlier, but I think that's part of it. You say it in your intro all the time. Your thought is your belief comes your reality. And I think that's where it has to be first, is you have to believe what you're doing, knowing that it's going to work, like you've been saying. So That's where I'm at. Like I said, I posted today, I actually saw that video about I am and saying that and building it up and how to say it correctly. So I used to do back in the day, and Jay used to do this, and I think you did too, is he used to put the little stickies on the mirror. And I had one that says, "You are great. Today's going to be," someone directly saying what I wanted. It was just more words of affirmation, basically. But the manifestation part for me is, like I said, I'm in the process of doing that. I'm a believer of it because, like I said, listening to you more and my special friend, and I have a guy at work, he's into it. So we all, talk about it. And his thing is, he's a little bit like you, but he's more or less where he tells me if you have a reason of doubt or you let somebody come in and tell you different, so you got to be careful who you talk to as far as manifesting, because you got, again, people out here just telling you different things on how to manifest and all that. So yeah, that's a slippery slope how I look at it, because there's so many different beliefs on how you manifest. So I mean, I believe that. Yeah. So I mean, I'm all understanding it, but then that's the other thing is this a fad where this is going to die out next year? You ain't even gonna hear nobody talk about this no more. So that's where you kind of weed out the true believers and the people that's just literally riding it because it's so popular. Again, everybody's talking about it. A lot of people speaking on it. And it's funny you said that earlier about how before people would say, "I'm praying that I get this job," or "I'm praying to everybody, I'm manifesting this." So that's why it's like, yeah, okay, how many of y'all really believe that? Or you're just saying it because you hear it, you see it on commercials, and even in movies, they be talking about it now. So, it's pretty interesting, how many people is just riding that wave right now. But me, I'm a true believer. I was talking to a guy in the gym today, and he used to work with me back in 2015 when I was working at True Fit, and we spoke on it. It's just funny how he was talking about it. At first, I kind of like, yeah, this dude one of those cats. But he said, I told you, you remind me of my brother, the way he was speaking on it, and my special friend. So that's why I was like, yeah, okay. Some people out there, that's legit, because y'all both all pretty much saying the same thing. So that's when I'm like, I can tell when somebody's pretty legitimate, that's true about it. And then there's the ones that's they just talking out their ass. And then, excuse my French, but yeah, they literally just talking smack. So it's really interesting to me, like I said. So
no, it's something you said that's like real important. And that's as far as like careful who you talk to. I was telling somebody this the other day. Like when I was going through my situation with the massage board and stuff. Now I didn't want to tell certain people, and I didn't tell certain people because again, that's based on the whole vibration and frequency thing. So I was telling somebody, like sometimes people can speak over you and they can manifest bad things over you because it's based off of the frequency and vibration. That's why I'm saying it's kind of tricky. Now, say for example, you have 10 people that's in your circle and something bad happened. You tell them, man, this happened to me and I'm facing, be some jail time, whatever the case is. And if each one of those individuals are thinking negative and they're talking about your situation in a negative light, and then you have some negative, thoughts of it, all those negative thoughts is putting out a vibration in a frequency. Yeah. So because it goes out and it comes back, whatever you put out in the universe, it comes back. So now all that negative energy is building up, and now it's coming to you more negative energy than positive energy. So I think that's what he was saying when he was like, be careful as far as who you talk to, because if it's somebody that don't have the same mindset that you do, and if you have some limiting thoughts, then now it's more negative energy and vibration and stuff that's out there than it is positive. And now you're attracting more of that negative vibration and energy. So that's why for me, like, it's real important. Like you said, there's a whole bunch of people out here saying that they manifesting this and that. And not that I'm judging, but based off of the way they speak about certain things, you'd know instantly if that person is real or not. And if they just out here just riding the wave. I do believe that in a sense, I don't think it's a fad. I do believe it is an awakening point right now. I just think it's people at a point to where they hear it, they have an intrigue about it, and they're gravitating to it, but they just don't have the full knowledge of it. So I do believe, like, if certain people really, really do dive into it more, then, to get more educated, then they'll be more attracted to it. And it won't be so much as far as it just seems like it's a fad or whatever. But yeah, the manifestation thing is real. And like I said earlier, I think it's more of a relative thing, because what you manifest is going to be based off of what your desires are and what you believe. So you can't, not you, but anybody can't really say, well, you're not truly manifesting anything, because how I believe and perceive it, then that's not real. So we can't really do that, because it's just based off of who that person believes they are and the belief they have in what it is that they're manifesting.
Because that one video that I posted a while ago, but all of them pretty much says the same thing, like you just said. But I know one of them was saying the same thing in a sense where everything you want is already yours. You just don't know. You got to believe it. Again, that's going to keep repeat myself, echo what you're saying, but that's pretty much, because it is what it is. And that's what it was saying, is you got to know that you deserve it, and you're going to get it once you believe it. And then that's the whole key to it, that belief. That's the key right there. Because if you don't believe it, you just speak it, but it's not really no belief behind it. It's not pure. It's not genuine.
Exactly.
I think that goes with anything you do. If you don't believe in it, you're not going to be good at it, because you're not taking it seriously enough to be able to hit it. So, yeah. You said something that Mom said when we was younger. I don't know if you remember that, or not said, but how she was.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're going to say.
How she's quiet as cat.
Yeah.
Nobody need to know anything. Like, if you speak it, they going to prey on you not getting it.
Exactly.
Or wishing that you don't get whatever you want. And I was telling my special friend about how when we went on vacation, sometimes we didn't even know we was going. We just going somewhere. And then, you know what I mean? Remember, Mom was like, we going somewhere this summer. Where? But when I can't say that right now. So, I mean, it's just funny how, to me, one of my point is with all that is when you manifest it, I think you just answered that earlier. So I might be asking you or saying the same thing twice. is when you manifest is to keep it to yourself. Like, don't go out and be like, yo, man, yesterday I trying to manifest this car or this job, instead of just focusing on it and doing it and let it happen and not pretty much broadcast it. Pretty much. Basically, that's why I use mom as an example, how I was like, mom would go on trips. We didn't even know she left when we moved here. And then she come tell us about it after the fact. Then she go and broadcast everything. But beforehand, she ain't telling nobody nothing. You know, because I was telling my friend, like, mom, I don't know if you on that same page, but I think mom was a great manifester.
Yeah.
Manifested a lot of stuff. She probably never really used that terminology when we was growing up, but sitting back and looking at her life and all that she accomplished, that was manifestation. You tell me if you agree with that.
Oh,
like
yeah,
everything
100%.
she did, traveling, all the different things she did. You know what I mean? So she always wanted to do something, and she did it, and that's who you remind me of. So that's why I always say that. You know, that's true. When people like you, mom, a couple of friends I know, that everything they put up themselves, set out to do, they do it. You know, that could be determination or whatever you want to call it, but I look at it now. That's what I'm saying about manifestation is being more, not a fad. You said it, it's more of an awakening. So now we're putting a label on it. But there's a lot of people, like I said, mom and you and a couple of people I know, that's like the pure definition of what manifestation is. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, okay, it was not known years ago, but now it is. So is it going to be forgotten? And I know you already spoke on that, but that's just kind of how where I'm at with it. But it makes sense what you said about, because we awakening, people get the knowledge behind it, they probably won't just lose it, and it won't be, you know, what's manifestation? You know what I mean? So I think it's here to stay, but it's just interesting how some people, you know.
All right, so there's two things I want to address. So KJ, what's up, KJ? She said she had two questions. Does your intent for what you are manifesting matter? Yes. Can you manifest things that could harm someone else or be bad for yourself? All right, so I'm going to start with the first one. Does your intent for what you are manifesting matter? Yes, 100%. If you're trying to manifest something out of greed, out of hate, you know, out of malice, then yeah, you can actually still manifest those things, but it's going to come back on you because you're putting out negative energy into the universe. And depending on what it is that you're trying to do, can turn out to be a bad situation for yourself and that person. But intent, whether if it's good or bad, it's 100% makes a big difference. Now, the second part or second question, can you manifest things that could harm someone else or be bad for yourself? Yes, I just basically spoke on that. And so I really don't want to answer that because I don't manifest that. So I honestly can't answer that question. It's kind of hard for me to even imagine somebody trying to manifest something negative on somebody. I would imagine it's the same effect if you're trying to, you know, manifest something positive. So I honestly can't answer that because I ain't that type of person. I'm out here manifesting negative stuff on people. So that's the one question I can't answer. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, as far as how you were saying mom was a good manifester. And it's funny because I spoke on that earlier when I read the definition about the Bible and how the Bible actually talks about manifestation. And this is what I try to tell people, like I was trying to tell our nephew, that Christianity parallels spirituality in a sense. It's just, it's more restrictive with religion than spirituality. But a lot of the stuff that's in the Bible is the same thing that's in metaphysics and quantum physics. It's the same, you know, concept. Right. But for some reason, not for some reason, I know why, but they're being taught that anything outside of, you know, religion or Christianity is evil and it's not of God, which is crazy because it clearly states, like I just read about the Bible, definition of manifestation is the same thing, you know? It's so manifestation in the Bible defined as making something evident or apparent. You know, and the Bible talks about speak those things as they are, not as they is. You know, so you speak things into existence. It's the same thing.
Right.
So mom, she was basically doing that. She was speaking things into existence
Yeah.
that she wanted. She prayed about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize when you pray, they're still putting out a frequency and a vibration and an intent. So if you got good intention of wanting something,
Right.
you still putting out the intent, you still putting out the vibration and frequency, and you still putting it out in the atmosphere and in the universe, and you're still going to attract that positive energy.
Right.
You know, they just see it as, okay, I'm praying to God and God is answering my prayers, so forth. So mom wrote that her entire life and many other Christians, even when I was in Christianity. So it's the same thing. It's just all in what the person believes. So for me, as long as you're putting out positive energy and positive vibration and frequency, it doesn't matter. You know, man put labels on stuff, you know, separates us. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's why I was saying how it's funny how 10 years ago, man, I'm gonna pray that I get this job, or I'm gonna pray that I get this tomorrow. And that's what I'm saying. Now it's translated to a transition to now I'm a manifest that I get this tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. Like, you perfectly the way you just put it. It's the same thing. It's just we're now in this era where I'm using the terminology you said, awakening, to where everybody realizing it. But it's literally the same thing. Like you said, 10 years ago, people were saying, I'm praying on it. Now everybody's saying 10 years later, I'm a manifest it. But it's literally you doing the same thing. So that's why I say, you know, it's interesting to me that, you know, that's where we at now. Where I'm one of them. I used to always say that I'm gonna pray on it. And moms always say, put it in God's hands and let him handle it. You know, now it's more or less, I'm gonna manifest this and I'm gonna believe it and I'm gonna just keep speaking on it and I'll receive it. So now, I'm just saying it's interesting. Yeah.
I will say this. I don't want to repeat myself, but I want to make sure, like, whoever's watching, not saying that I'm a guru and what I say is born and is definitely 100% right. But I'm just speaking from experience, the research I've done, and readings that I've done. Like the meditation part is like a person cannot manifest without that, because then it just becomes you're just talking and just speaking things. Like you have to visualize it. It's good to speak it, but all that stuff have to be in concert with each other in order for it to truly work. So I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. I'm just speaking from the experience that I had when I had all three working in concert together, the meditation, the visualization, and the speaking affirmation. It happened a lot quicker. And this to go back to answer the other question, because you asked, does it matter as far as the time frame and can you manifest something instantly? Yes, because like right now, the earth is in a higher vibration. The earth is increasing its vibration. So you can manifest stuff instantly, like tomorrow in 5 minutes. But it comes down to the belief, the visualization, and meditation. Prime example, last week, I told you about the story, what happened with the Jag when I was working on the spark plugs. Right. This is no lie. I told you about the whole wallet missing, and the next day, I found it just dropped or just fell off the wooden crate. But I was going back the next day, and I got some more tools in the mail. I said, okay, so I'm going to work on it. I had my binaural beats playing, listening to positive music, getting in a positive mindset, having a high vibration, and I'm spraying the EB40, like WD-40, on the spark plug to try to loosen it up. I was out there for at least a good hour or so, and it wouldn't break. And I was like, you know what, man? Don't get frustrated. Just relax. And I promise you, this is no lie. So I started visualizing myself breaking that spark plug loose and taking it out, and me doing like a little celebration that I got it out. And I promise you, no later than about maybe 10, 15 minutes, I saw what I actually had myself doing in the visualization. I was breaking it loose, and I took my time, and it came out. So that's what I'm saying. Like the visualization part and the meditation has to be included with the manifestation. If people out here saying I manifested something and none of that stuff is included, me personally, I'm going to be kind of skeptical and I'm not going to believe it, because now it's like, okay, then you had a super high vibration. If you can just truly speak it and it happens like that, and you have none of those other things in place along with that. So that's just my personal view of it. Other people may have a different perspective on it, but like I said, through my studies and research and stuff, those things have to be in concert with each other in order for manifestation to truly work the way you want it to work.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to speak on the 111. Now, I was told, there's two different people that told me this. So that's why I'm like, okay, maybe it's true, or it's just out there somewhere where it's saying that, but how true is it? But like I said, she's more into it. I'm still learning it. So I've taken it for what it is and say, you know, it got to be some truth behind it. But the saying is, whenever you see, what was it, I think it's 111 is the highest time to have positive thoughts.
Yeah.
Because that's the most open window, I guess you'll want to call it, in a different aspect of saying it, to have that opportunity to focus on what you want to get and manifest. So whenever you see 111 on a door or the clock, your digital says 111. You want to have clear, pure thoughts, always positive at that time that you see those three numbers.
Yeah.
So I'm basically asking you and making a statement. Or do you feel that that's truth behind that, or that's something that somebody put out there, or you got to believe it for that to really, for that to?
No,
because I ain't gonna lie, when she first told me that, I was like, what? What are you talking about? You know, because she was just like, oh, you got to be in a positive mindset, and really didn't give me no backstory on it until I was like, what? That don't make. Then she kind of explained it to me, and then somebody totally different said the same thing. So that's why I was like, okay, maybe there is something that's out there that's relevant, because I really at the first didn't believe that, and I'm just being honest on that. But
okay. Now, again, I want to sound like negative Nanny, but I'm going to give you the real, not that no one else is. But now this is the trick again. When people tell you certain things about anything dealing with metaphysics, universe, you got to be careful, because they're coming from their perspective and their experience. So for who you are, the mark who I am is not who your special person is, who they are and who I am. So what's relevant to me is not going to be relevant to you, because your walk and your journey is going to be different. So whatever space they're in, whatever journey is ascension they're on, when they receive that, because it's called synchronicity. So basically, universe is going to give you numbers, because there's numbers from 111, 15, 15, anything that's double or that's the same is a sign from the universe, and it has a meaning behind it. So this is where my critical thinking comes in. Okay, so who actually made this up? Who determined that? Right. So how did he know that 111 means this? Is this somebody just sitting back, like somebody that wrote the Bible and say, okay, this is what the disciples said? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I always question it, even though in that community, that's what it's believed to be. So to answer your question, 111, yeah, when you see it, there's different people or different platforms you can check what the numbers mean. Some of them are the same, some of them are slightly different. So it can just have one word that's different from the other platform you go to. So depending on what that word is going to determine what mindset you're going to be in and how you receive it. So that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful, because for me, I listen to stuff and I look at things and I read things, but that's why I'm saying you have to meditate, because when you meditate, you go within. And when you go within, the universe is going to directly talk to you. Everything that I received through the universe. And I think we had this conversation before. And he was like, so how do you know? Who told you that? And I think that's when I came down for Christmas. And I was like, oh, it was downloaded to me. Most people will look at you like you crazy if you say it was downloaded, but that's how most people, that's how you're supposed to get your information. The universe is downloaded to you. Then anything that comes behind that is just confirmation. So for me, I never go and base stuff off of what somebody else is saying. I'll listen to it, but when I go into meditation, the universe, God, or however you look at it, is going to give me directly what it is that I need. And anything that comes behind that is just confirmation of what it is that I was seeking. So just be careful when people are telling you, okay, when you see this number, that's what it means. Or even when you do the research yourself and you go to these different platforms, and it's going to have every number. Like every time a number comes up, I'm on there Googling, okay, what does this mean? Because I see 15, 15, 20, 20, 222, 999, all every day, any day. So depending on what you're doing at that moment, like say, for example, my child support, right? And I think I told you about that. I've had to wait to get the back paid for. Yeah. So I'm having like limiting thoughts, like pissed off about it. So at that time,
hey, your mic went out.
When they were saying that that's the highest point to manifest. So anytime you see that, the universe is reminding you, okay, be careful what your thoughts are, because what you're thinking, you're going to bring into existence. You create your reality. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does actually. But I'm just going to throw this as more of a comment. So that's funny how 777 is always deemed to be an unlucky number. Right? Now I'm just saying, like I said, I'm just using it as a comment because you made me think about that when you were saying that. And growing up, that's supposed to be the devil, right? 777. That's what was always taught.
It was 666.
I mean 666. My bad. I said 777. Yeah, 666 is always deemed to be bad. So and now that I'm thinking about it, like, have anybody really researched that to believe that to be
it's not
real unlucky number?
Okay, so I have a call, not a caller, but I have a comment. Diamond Girl says, do you believe the difference in praying for something you desire or manifesting what you desire is that if you ask for something, you are telling the universe you don't believe you already have it? That's a good question. I like that question, Diamond. Okay, I'm gonna break it down, Mark, and you can chime in on it too. All right, so do you believe the difference in praying for something you desire or manifesting? I believe praying for something is kind of in a sense saying you don't have it. So manifesting, the way she's wording it, I believe what she's saying is if you manifest something, that's already knowing that you have it and you're just manifesting it, bringing it to you, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it's like you already know it exists, you know you have it, now you just have to go get it. So basically, like if you know there's water at the store, you just got to get in your car and go get it. Right. Opposed to, oh, God, please let it be water at that store. Please, please let it be water at the store. The difference is you don't believe that it's there. You're hoping that it's there. Opposed to, I know it's there. I just got to go get my car and go get it. Right. So for me, I do believe in a sense, praying is a limited belief. Whereas manifesting is 100% knowing that you have it and you're just bringing it to you. Right. She said, what you desire is that if you ask for something, you are telling the universe you don't believe it. Yeah, so I basically just answered the question. All right, Mark, you talk about it.
Well, I mean, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. I mean, only difference I'm going to say, and it's what you've been saying, and we always say is what you believe in the most. So now for you or Diamond Girl or anybody else that has that belief already or that understanding, it would be easier for you to know the difference. But for somebody that don't, I think they will probably believe more in the praying because that's what we always say, you've been programmed to believe. But at the end of the day, it's what you truly believe in. So that's going to be the end result. Whatever your true belief is, like you said, manifestation is all about belief, just like praying is all about belief. So it's, at the end of the day, what you believe in. So I believe that's the truth, but at the end of the day, manifestation is going to come from knowing it and believing in it and just going and getting it because you know it's going to be there. Like you said, perfect analogy of getting water in the store because you know it's there already, and opposed to hoping and praying that it is. But to me, that's still a belief. You believing that your prayer is going to get you that, even though you're hoping, but you still believing in that prayer. And then manifestation, you already know because you believe it. So to me, it's your belief, and whatever it is for people that praise and people that do manifestation. But
Okay, so Diamond Girl, just let us know if we answered your question. If not, we can try to touch on it again. Okay, see, I just said something,
yeah,
and I want to bring that up. Because
what?
like I said, I believe words are powerful, and a lot of people use this, and I do my best not to use it. I hate using the word or hear somebody saying, I tried. Because for me, that's kind of in line of what she was asking. Do you believe praying is not believing that the universe has it, opposed to I will or I am? Because I will and I am, in my opinion, is like, I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time when I do it. Rather if it's 2 minutes from now, a minute from now, it's going to happen. It's no doubt that it's going to happen. But when you try, it's like, oh, I have no clue. I might do it, I might not do it.
Right.
So I don't know if that makes sense. That might be a bad
No,
analogy.
that do make sense because I tell all my clients that when they say I'm trying to do it, I be like, don't try, just do it. You know, because if you're trying, that means you're not really doing it. You just hoping that you'll get through it. So yeah, I totally get what you mean by that on that aspect. Because words, and I tell her that words are not words of affirmation. Words is power. Words is law. If I say word is law, that's my little saying. Because whatever you speak, like you just said, you know you're gonna say I am, not I hope or I think or I'm, maybe. Those words is what you speak is going to be the difference on whatever happens.
Right.
That's something that I'm gonna be honest about. I'm really starting to get more into being careful on my words of what I'm saying because I've always been told. People always tell me, "You always hold me to what I say." I said, "Yeah, because words is everything. If you're saying something, it better be true to what you mean. Because if not, it's just word, and you're not realizing the words you're using and how powerful they are." So that's why I make sure now more than ever that I'm wording my words correctly, especially when I'm getting something or wanting to get something, because that makes a difference, I believe too. Like you stated earlier. So words is powerful.
Okay, so this is something else I want to talk about too, because I'm pretty sure I don't know if you've done it at some point, but I know some people might look at it and say, well, Matt always talking about manifestation. He always talk about vibration, high vibration, low vibration, but he don't quite have some of the stuff that you think a person should have based off of what they're speaking on. And this is what's different for me. Like for me, I manifest spirituality things, spiritual things. Like the things that I want is like spiritual gifts. Like I told you a couple of weeks ago, where I had that premonition of when I was out at the park and I saw this couple come walk up before they came and walked up. That's the stuff that I want. Because most people, when they manifest, it's always something in the natural. There's always material stuff. And for me, like that's easy to get. I'm not worried about that. Like I used to say this before, and some people look at me kind of funny. And like I said, because I'm not rich, people will say, well, dude, I don't see it. But I used to always say, I have no problem getting money. I can get money whenever I want it. That's not the problem. Or that's not an issue with me. So my thing is what I'm attaining and reaching for are those spiritual things, the stuff that people can't see, that only I can witness when it happens, that I know that I manifested it. Like the situation with the car, I know I manifested that. So manifestation, I think, is getting a little blown out of proportion as far as in a 3D sense, like it's all about material things and money. That's all people are manifesting, you
Right.
know, and when you ascend to a higher level, it should be more about spiritual things, you know, helping people, stuff like that.
Right.
You know, it's not always about something for yourself. You know, when I talked to Candy last week, you know, she was talking about how she spoke some things and she thought about it and it happened instantly with her, with, you know, her children. So there's other aspects that you can manifest stuff. There's some people don't even realize they're manifesting, but because their manifestations is more on physical things than it is spiritual things.
Mhm.
So I just want to put that out there that
Yeah.
manifestation is not always just on, you know, 3D
Right.
type of things. You
Yeah,
know,
and
like
I'm
I've
glad you go ahead. No, go ahead.
you know, like you got to be careful.
Yeah.
You can manifest, or we can manifest multiple partners, because I've done that before. And I'm just
Mhm.
being honest, because I was curious. This is when I really was getting into it. I said, I
Right.
know I got some power, and I'm going to see if I can manifest multiple women. And I did with
Mhm.
no problem. I'm going to say this, and I know you want to get your piece out, but I was in Virginia, and I met this sister on a dating site. And so
Right.
we went out and stuff like that. And so we was in a car, and she was like, so what's now? And I said, do you really want to know? She was like, yeah. I said, well, I envisioned before I came here and visualized that we're going to make out in the car and we're going to go in a hotel and we're going to, you know, do our thing. And she just looked at me and broke out laughing. She said, boy, you crazy. I ain't doing nothing with you.
Right.
And lo and behold, we was in the back seat getting busy. So I'm just saying, like, it can work indirectly. You may
Right.
not realize, like, wow, man, I'm just, all these type of women are coming to me, or whatever the case is. You could subconsciously manifest multiple partners and you not even realize you're doing that.
Right.
All right. So anyway,
Nah, see, I forgot. I forgot I was going to speak on it. I was in a moment of what you were saying, so that's why I wanted to speak on it. What you was talking about. Okay, well, yeah, that's what I was saying when you was talking about manifestation, and then that's what I was saying earlier in the podcast, where I feel like it's a fad, like you said. People are more material about it, and that's what I mean when I say that people are riding a wave. Like people want to manifest material things and things that's going to be more or less 3D, like you said, not helping someone or somebody in a family or anything like that. To me, that's when you're more in tune with
right.
what manifestation is, because you have an understanding how powerful it is. But
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. Not all the way. I'm not saying everybody, but I do believe it's a portion of people out there that's wanting to manifest material things, and then that's it. That's all I mean by it's a fad, where a lot of people riding it because they learned more about it, so they feel like, ooh, I'm gonna manifest this car I always wanted, which is
Right.
that teaches own. Like end of the day, if that's your end game, that's all you want out of it, then that's what it is. What it is. But that's all I was gonna say on that comment, because you made me think about it when you said that.
Okay.
So
All right. I got 2 comments from KJ and Diamond. So Diamond says, you both answered it perfectly. Prayer should be sent more as a thank you that I have it, opposed to manifestation knowing it's there. 100% agree. Perfectly said, Diamond. All right, now KJ. KJ says, does manifesting take God out of the equation? Are we still using what God wants for us when we manifest? Another great question. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit slow with this one because I don't want to get too passionate about it and not speak on it correctly. All right, so I'm gonna take my time with it. Does manifesting take God out of the equation? So this is where it's really important, because it's really based on that individual as far as how you perceive God and what God is to you. And as I told you, God for me is universe. God is everything. So rather, if I'm meditating or praying, God is never being taken out of the equation for me. Just because I don't say in the name of Jesus or whatever the case is, or Jehovah or Yahweh or whatever label or term that people are using, that doesn't mean that you're taking God out of it. Because for me, God is everything. God is universe. God is frequency. God is a vibration. He's energy. Well, God is energy. So God is never going to be out of my equation. So does manifesting take God? No. as like I said, it doesn't take, for me, God out of the equation because God is everything. Now, are we still using what God wants for us when we manifest? So again, this goes down to the level of belief, the level of where that person is. So for me, I believe God is within us. So like I said, when I go into meditation, everything that I'm seeking, or everything that I'm wanting, God has already approved of it. So based off of what I believe is that I don't believe, like some people believe that God has this notebook and say, okay, so Matthew, at this point in your life, this is what you're supposed to do. This is who you're going to be with. I don't believe that. I believe God gives us free will. I believe whatever choices we make in our life is based off of what it is that we want and how we see life and how we see, God or whatever is based off of your belief. So again, that's relative. So my answer is going to be different from Mark's. Mark's is going to be different from Diamond's. And I just feel as though we keep putting, it's like we're trying to put people in a box. Like what I believe, you have to believe that. So how Mark believed God and what he perceived God as is going to be different from me. So I can't tell him that, no, that's not what God had for you. Whatever he believed God has for him is what God has for him. So whatever he does when he go into meditation or whatever he's doing in his walk or his journey is based off of what he believes is right for him. I don't know if that makes sense. I was trying to explain that in a good way. So Mark, you talk about it now.
No. That makes perfect sense. I mean, to me, it's going to be echoing what you said. I don't think this one's going to be any different of an answer. Because like I said, I'm still just getting on that level of where I say on that journey of being spiritual or whatever. So as far as the belief of God, I think that was worded perfectly. Like I believe in God. I know some people say you got to talk to God every day and have a relationship with God. It's not just praying to him when you need something. It's having conversations with him. And probably the best way, like you said, is meditating. Like me personally, I speak and I'm like, God, always say, forgive my sin, whatever I've done wrong. Know that I'm a good person. I am. I'm just, making efforts to do things a different way. Give me the strength to keep going. And that's me having a conversation. I don't get all deep with it. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm sitting in the corner nowhere. I'd be driving to work and I speak on it. And then, that's it. So that's my way of having God and believing in it, believing in him and knowing that he exists. So I'm not going to give more of a deep answer. That's pretty much it, because like I said, I'm still in the process of all of this on how I want to go forward. So my answer is going to be short. It's not going to be a long, like, great definition. That's pretty much my belief. And again, it's going to be belief. At the end of the day, that's what I'm going to stick to. Is you said it yourself. Everybody have different ways. So that's everybody's belief is going to be different. So I don't think it's a right or wrong answer or correct way of answering that. It's all based on what you believe in. And that's going to be the deciding factor, so.
Okay, beautifully said. So actually, KJ, I was sitting here listening to Mark and I was thinking about the question because I'm thinking as I'm slowing down, it's starting to make more sense to me. So you're basically asking, does manifesting take God out of the equation? So I believe how you see it as that God has a plan for all of us. And based off of that plan, if you have something that you want that's not in alignment with what God wants, and I believe you're asking, so is that taking him or taking God out of the equation because what you want may be different from what God wants because that's not in God's plan for that individual. So I'm thinking that's what it is that you're asking. So in a sense, you're saying when someone manifests, let's say, for example, I want to manifest that I want to move to Bora Bora. But God's plan is not for me to move to Bora Bora, it's for me to stay in Georgia. So me manifesting moving to Bora Bora, is that taking God out of the equation? So I hope that makes sense to you. So I don't believe that it does. So if y'all have any more questions or any more comments, please, let us know. So Mark, you have anything you want to add or?
No, I was just going to comment, but you always say it perfectly. So when I try to say it, it's almost saying the same thing you're saying. But just on that last comment, what you said about KJ on is manifestation taking God, and I think that's perfectly. I would say, if God is in your life, that's Him knowing that you are able to manifest. So I don't think that's taking Him out of the equation, because you said it yourself. God knows you and know who you are, so He's giving you that will to be able to manifest what you want. Because, like you said, we have free will. So I don't think that would take Him out of the equation, because He might see that you have a different path now, and He's still guiding you. He's giving you the will, the knowledge, the belief to manifest what you want. So I don't think that would take Him out of the equation.
Okay, I
That's
like
just
that.
my spin on it. So anyway.
No, I like that. That's good. That was real good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we beat this one up pretty good. Okay, I want to add this now. I want to throw this little part in there. So a lot of people believe that manifestation is considered pseudoscience. So basically meaning that, something that claims to be scientific and factual, but actually don't have any facts or objective facts behind it. So I think that's why a lot of people don't believe that manifestation is real, because it's not backed by science. And I had a conversation yesterday with someone, and we was talking about how a certain individual only believe that scientists are right. If it's not backed by science, then it's not correct. So we can get really, really deep with that, because a lot of the metaphysics and quantum physics is based on science. So you can, in my opinion, kind of explain it based off of science, but that's going to be too deep of a conversation. So we're going to end it there. I enjoyed this conversation. I believe it was a good one. So as I always say, beautiful, I'm gonna call y'all reflections for now on. I'm gonna call you people, I'm gonna call you reflections. So your thoughts becomes your belief, and your belief becomes your reality.
All right, and same old here. It ain't gonna change with me. It's gonna be STS, guys. And it all falls in line, even with manifesting. You gotta stay focused, trust that process, and stay consistent with it. So I appreciate you guys for checking us out. KJ and Diamond Girl, appreciate you guys with the comments and being engaged with this conversation. I think that's important. So until next week, we appreciate you guys.
Peace.
We out.